This is the 6th class of learning Korean with a story. We are reading 흥부와 놀부. In the last class, we learned 이름. 이름 means name. And also we learned 놀부, 흥부. 놀부 is the name of elder brother, and Heungbu is the name of younger brother. And Nolbu와 Heungbu, or 흥부와 놀부, is the title of this story. Okay, then let's look at the sentence we are going to learn in this class. It consists of two sentences. This is one sentence, and this is and there is the other sentence. Let's look at the first sentence. 놀부는. We need to learn this letter. Let's learn how to read it. This is n sound, and this is sound. So n, and this is n sound. So nun. Nun means indicator for subject. You may remember we have learned two more indicator for subject, 가 and 은. Surprisingly, we have one more indicator for subject. So Korean language has lots of indicator for subject. 는 is also another kind of indicator for subject. But 는 takes the exact same role as 은. Look at this example. 형은, 동생은. When we compare elder brother and younger brother, when we compare two things, we use 은 instead of 가. And 는 is exactly the same. So when we compare two things, we also use 는 instead of 은. Then what is the difference between 은 and 는? The only difference between 은 and 는 is consonant. All of the Korean letter consists of consonant and vowel. The first part of each letter must start with consonant. This is consonant. This is also consonant. And then second part of each letter must be vowel. This is vowel. This is also vowel. This is also a vowel. And the last part or bottom part must be consonant. This is consonant, and this is also consonant. But some of letter doesn't have any consonant at the bottom side. There is no consonant. This letter consists of only one consonant and one vowel, one consonant and one vowel, and there is any other Korean alphabet at the bottom side. Just like 부, this letter, if there isn't any other consonant at the bottom side, then we use 는 instead of 은. And when there is another consonant at the bottom side of the last letter of subject, this is also a consonant, then we use 은. We don't use 형는. This is very difficult for Korean to pronounce because there is a consonant and there is another consonant. We feel there is a chance for these two consonants conflict together. So it's very uncomfortable for Korean to pronounce. So we use 은 instead of 는 because this Korean alphabet has no sound. So there's no chance to conflict. That's why we use 은 instead of 는. But in that case, there is no consonant. So there is no chance to conflict. So if the last letter of the subject has no any other consonant at the bottom side, then we use 는. 은 and 는 takes exactly the same role, but only difference is consonant. If there is a consonant, just choose 은. And if there is no consonant, just choose 는. Let's look at the sentence again. So, 놀부는 means 놀부 is the subject of this sentence because it is added with 는. And we need to learn this word. Let's learn this word, how to read it. This is 자식. 자식. It sounds 주 and it sounds 아. So 주아 equal 자. And it sounds 스 and it sounds 이. So 스이 equal 시 and it sounds 크. So 식 equal 식. 시읍 식. Then 자식. 자식 means offspring. 자식 means offspring. In case of human, 자식 maybe means son and daughter, or 자식 means children. And we need to know this word 없었다. It reads 없었다. It has no sound, and this is a sound. So this is a, and this is bu sound, this is s sound, but it's very difficult even for Korean to pronounce it exactly. So we just read the first two Korean alphabet. So it reads up, up. It reads up, up. And it has no sound, and this is a. And this is to or do. So 엇 equal 엇. 엇. So 없었다 means means not exist. So up has negative meaning. Up means not exist, and 엇 means past tense. So 없선 means did not exist. And 다 is the sign for closing sentence. Then 자식이 없었다. 자식이 없었다 means offspring did not exist. It means had no children, had no son and daughter, but the exact translation must be offspring did not exist. And you may wonder, what is this? E. E is another kind of indicator for subject. We have already learned 가 and 은 and 는. We have already learned three kinds of indicator for subject, and there is still one more indicator for subject. So we have four kinds of indicator for subject in Korean language. E takes exactly the same role with 가. 가 is a general form of indicator for subject. Then you may wonder, what is the difference between 가 and E? They take exactly the same role. The only difference is consonant. When the last letter of subject has no consonant at the bottom side, then we use 가. On the contrary, there is a consonant at the bottom side of the last letter of a subject, just like this. Look at this, there's a consonant. Then we use E instead of 가. Because if you say like this, there is a consonant and there is a consonant, then we feel uncomfortable. There is a chance for two consonants to conflict. So we don't say 자식 가. We say 자식이. It's much comfortable because it has no sound, so there is no chance to conflict. But in this case, there isn't any consonant here, so we can choose 가 because there is no chance to conflict. Now then you understand the difference between these four consonants. When the last letter of a subject has a consonant at the bottom side, then we use 이 or 은. And when the last letter has no consonant at the bottom side, we choose 가 or 는. It must be a little bit difficult for you because you are a foreigner. I'm afraid that you want to give up learning Korean because of these complicated grammar. But don't worry. And if you don't know which one is right for indicator, then just don't use this indicator. Forget it. Just to say subject. Just to speak out the word. Even though you don't use the exact indicator for subject, we can understand what you are saying because Korean is our mother tongue. When you confuse, just ask us which one is right. Is 놀부는 right or is 놀부은 right? Make friends and try to communicate and try to speak and listen lots of Korean sentences. Then you can learn these kinds of grammar naturally. Time can solve everything. Okay, then let's go back to the sentence. 자식이 없었다 means offspring did not exist. Up has negative meaning. Then 놀부는 자식이 없었다. 놀부는 자식이 없었다. Means, in the case of Nolbu, his offspring did not exist. It means Nolbu had no his own children. Nolbu had no son and daughter. And this sentence has exactly the same structure, but the meaning is very opposite. Let's learn this word. This is mu sound and this is a sound. So mu아 ma, and this is un sound and this is hu sound. But it's still difficult for Korean to pronounce altogether exactly, so we don't pronounce the later one, the last one. So it is read just like this. Man. It is man. Man. We don't pronounce this one. And it has no sound. This is a sound and this is ut sound. So at. Then 많았다. 많았다 means, man means many or a lot. So 많다 means is a lot or are a lot, are many, is many, and at means past tense. So 많았다 means was many, was a lot. Then 흥부는 자식이 많았다 means in case of 흥부, his offspring was a lot. It means Heungbu had his own children, a lot of his own children. Heungbu had many sons and many daughters. Then the whole sentence means, in case of Nolbu, his offspring did not exist, and ko is and. In case of Heungbu, his offspring was a lot, was many. So these two sentences has the same structure and the meaning is very opposite. The writer is comparing the situation of Nolbu and Heungbu. In that case, the indicator for subject must be 은 or 는, and there is no any other consonant, so you must choose 는, not 은. And we need to learn one more thing. There is 엇 and 앗. 엇 means past tense and 앗 also means past tense. Then what is the difference between 엇 and 앗? Look at here. There is 어 and there is 아. If the vowel of predicate is 어, then we use 엇. We use 엇. And if the vowel of predicate is 아, then we use 앗 to express past tense. So we use 엇 and 앗 to express past tense. If there is 어 in the predicate, then you must choose a. And if there is a in the predicate, then you must choose at. There are lots of grammar, and learning grammar is very difficult, but it takes time. You don't need to hurry. Okay, now I'm going to read this sentence very slowly. Listen carefully and try to get an image. Are you ready? 놀부는 자식이 없었고 흥부는 자식이 많았다. Listen again. 놀부는 자식이 없었고 흥부는 자식이 많았다. Thank you for watching. I'll be back with the next sentence right away. See you in the next class.